Hi, everybody. This is Kathy. I'm back to tell the story of the children of Fatima. Back in 1916, there was a Pope Benedict the 15th, which is ironic because we have a Pope Benedict the 16th now, emeritus. That means we have two popes instead of one. So back to Pope Benedict the 15th made pleas for peace and the ending of World War I, but it was to no avail. So he pleaded with the Blessed Mother to intercede for peace in the world. And just over a week later, the lady began to appear in Fatima, Portugal, to three children. The children's names were Lucia, 10, Francisco, and Jacinta. I'm not sure of their ages. So one day, the children were out taking care of their family's sheep, which they always did. And all of a sudden, they saw this dazzling young man, and he just appeared out of nowhere. So he came to them and said that he was the angel of peace, and he invited them to pray. Now, that was in the spring of 1916. So then, in late summer of 1916, he appeared again, inviting them to pray and encouraging them to make sacrifices as a way to draw peace to their country. The children had decided that they were going to pray and to give up lunch as a way of sacrificing. He then appeared to them again in autumn of 1916, but when he appeared this time, he was holding a chalice, and suspended above the chalice was a host and drops of blood falling in the chalice. Then the angel prostrated himself before the chalice as it was suspended in the air and prayed and taught them the Eucharist and Eucharistic reparation. He then gave the host to Lucia, the oldest, and the chalice to Francisco and Jacinta, her cousins, and said, "Take and drink the body and blood of Jesus Christ." Horribly outraged by ungrateful men, repair their crimes and console their God. Then he prostrated himself again in prayer before disappearing. The children felt that they should not tell anyone and that they should keep it a secret. So they didn't tell anyone. And then May 13th of 1917, so this is going like a whole year, the three children were out taking care of their family's sheep, and they took the sheep this time to a little place called Cova da Iria. I'm not sure. And after they had sat there and they said their rosaries, they saw a flash of light, like lightning, followed by another, and then clear blue sky. And when they looked, Lucia explained this is an amazing description. So it was a lady clothed all in white, brighter than the sun, radiating a light more clear and intense than a crystal cup filled with sparkling water, lit by burning sunlight. That's a quote from her. The children were frozen, but still they heard the lady say, "Do not be afraid. I will not harm you." The lady continued in this quote, "I come from heaven," points to the sky. "I have come to ask you to come here for 6 months on the 13th day of the month at the same hour. Later I shall tell you who I am and what I desire, and I shall return here yet a 7th time." Lucia asked if they would go to heaven. She said yes. She and Jacinta would go to heaven, but Francisco would have to say many rosaries first. Then the lady said, "Are you willing to offer yourselves to God and to bear all the sufferings He wills to send you as an act of reparation for the conversion of sinners?" And Lucia said yes for all three. "Then you are going to have much to suffer, but the grace of God will be your comfort." The lady then opened her hands, and a light streamed from it onto the ground, and in it the children were able to see themselves in God. And the lady said, Say the rosary every day to bring peace to the world and to end the war. And then she rose toward the east until she disappeared. They decided keep giving up lunch and pray the full rosary every day. And Jacinta and Francisco's parents were pretty supportive of them, but not so much for Lucia. The villagers' attitudes went from skepticism to utter contempt, and the children suffered many insults. And on June 13th, 1917, about 50 people came to the cove. The three children saw a flash of light again, followed by the apparition of the lady. And this is a quote from the lady. I want you to come on the 13th of next month to pray. And the rosary I want you to pray every day and to learn to read. Later I will tell you what I want. Lucia wanted to go to heaven, and the lady said, I will take Jacinta and Francisco shortly, but you will stay here for some time. Jesus wants to use you to make me known and loved. He wishes to establish devotion to my Immaculate Heart throughout the world. I promise salvation to whoever embraces it. These souls will be dear to God, like flowers put by me to adorn his throne. This is found in the letter by Sister Lucia in 1927 to her confessor. Then Mary opened her hands, and rays of light came from them, and it seemed to penetrate right straight into the earth. And the children saw a terrible